Steve Clemons, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So you're the Washington editor-at-large for The Atlantic?
Yes.
So what do you think will the global governance look like in 10 or maybe 20 years?
I think it'll look radically different. I think most of the institutions that we see in place today are going to remain that way until they're forced to change, because you have powers like the United States and France and England, which on a relative basis are declining in the world, but they extend their power through the institutions. And the new rising states are not mature enough, nor do they want the responsibilities attached to real leadership. And so what's going to happen is we're going to have a series of shocks, economic shocks, political shocks, perhaps natural disasters that become clarifying moments, and that will form, the real changes in global governance that I think we saw temporarily with the G20 after the economic crisis of 2008. But once that disappeared, the G20's significance declined. So I think that we will see change. It'll be radically different in the sense of participants and structure, but it's going to be very nasty and messy about how we achieve that change.
And among the developing countries, can we have a glimpse of which will be the inevitable countries?
They're going to be the population centers in the region. So it'll be Brazil, it'll be India, probably a surprise to you, maybe perhaps Iran. You'll have nations like China, of course, and South Africa and Nigeria and Africa. So you're going to have these population centers that in my view, play a larger role in their regional security and in their regional economies. They will become the new international stakeholders in these institutions that we're negotiating. But again, Brazil, for instance, it's an interesting country to me, sits often on the UN Security Council, not as a permanent member, but often as a rotating member, and they abstain frequently. Nations that want to be in global governance institutions can't sit on the sidelines. They have to take views, they have to take decisions, they have to make investments in strategy and in the future. And right now, most of the rising states, I would add Turkey to that, are not of the sort that are really making the kind of investments that the European states and the United States have traditionally made.
And in this changing world, what will be the place of the USA? Are they going to be able to adapt?
The U.S. is going to have some ego adjustments to make, but it's going to remain for quite a long time the most powerful among other powerful nations. And so it needs to figure out how does it create a new global social contract with other international stakeholders, where American influence is not in the power it can lord over someone, but its ability to influence the architecture, influence the responsibilities of participants. Can it strike new deals and arrangements? The power of the secretary, the power of the architect is very profound, and the United States needs to find its way, in my view, towards that end, as opposed to a military kind of power or even a hegemonic economic kind of power.
Steve Clemons, thank you very much.
Thank you.